Welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Dave, where today I'm going to be talking about the Mercedes EQS SUV. Now, you know, the thing is, there's so many beautiful cars on the market, electric vehicles, I mean to say, that I just haven't been able to keep up with all of them. I've been dancing around with all the Teslas and the Lucids and all this EGMP stuff, and the one car that I have never even been inside of is an EQS. Whether it's an EQS sedan or an SUV. So lucky for me, I'm out here in Fort Collins, Colorado, and Kyle's got a EQS SUV that I'm really super interested in learning all about. I don't know that much about it, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for a ride. I'm gonna drive it, but I'm gonna ask a lot of questions of the man, the legend, my buddy, my son Kyle. So let's get into it, and thanks again for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave. So there's a few things about this EQS SUV. I remember the first time that I saw one, I was up in Trumbull, Connecticut at an Electrify America station, and one of these pulled in. Now this one to me, I don't know if this is a base unit, I think, but you know, it's just when I saw it, I was like, thank goodness it looks good, because to me, the EQS sedan, no disrespect to anybody who's bought one, it looks like a Tylenol pill to me. It just doesn't do it for me. Now, it's not as bad as, let's say, you know, the i7, or not the i7, what is it, like the i4 with those big kidney things.
Are you saying that an EQS looks better than an i4?
There's something about the grille of the i4 that just, I can't get over that thing. It's just, you know, but I can't even get over the EQS. But the EQS SUV, I really like this. Now, there's a few things that are pretty cool about this.
Actually, before we start telling everyone about this car, maybe I can interrupt for a quick second.
Go ahead.
Because it's important to say that there's now 4 Mercedes EQ models on sale.
Okay.
That are full ground up, built on this EVA 2 architecture. There's also the EQB and the EQA. Well, EQA is available in Europe. I've made a review with that. EQB is available here in the US, a small 7-seat.
I saw one of those in Naples, Florida.
Actually, I think they're kind of getting popular, which is crazy because to me it's not the best car on the planet and it's quite expensive, but I've been seeing them, but they look just like a GLB, so no one would know it's electric.
Yeah.
So I think that you might see more than you even realize.
Maybe. I don't know.
I saw a bunch when I visited you in Connecticut. I saw like 5 in one trip.
Really?
I was like, wow.
Yeah, I must be seeing them, not realize.
Right, so that's the EQB. And then you have, of course, the EQE.
Yes.
And the EQE SUV just launched. So now there's 2 models there, and we'll have an EQE SUV coming on Monday to replace this one with. Oh, cool. And that'll be an AMG spicy one as well.
Nice.
That'll be cool.
Right.
And then there's, of course, the top of the line EQS. And this is the S-level class of vehicle. It has the 3 light up little diamond shapes in the headlights. So if you ever see one in your rearview mirror, if there's 2 of these, you know that it's an EQE. If there's 3 of them, then you know it's the Big Daddy EQS.
I knew that.
Yeah, good.
I knew that. You know what I see with these, a lot of the, even some of the, just the regular gas-powered Mercedes SUVs, I always look at the grille, right? To me, I see the grille, and then I know that it's an EV or not. And if you zoom in here...
Don't look too closely at this grille. I wonder what brand of car this is.
No, I know, but you know what, Kyle, you know what's cool about this is that from a distance, you don't realize that they're telling you it's a Mercedes 75 times. Right?
Well, yeah, maybe even more.
Maybe more.
It's
right?
actually amazing because this same star pattern with all the Mercedes logos, you can option a wheel, at least on the sedan, that's just filled with those.
Yeah.
And when you open the door, you know how they have the puddle light projector?
Yeah, yeah.
They have a giant Mercedes logo. And then right behind that, they have a carpet of light that is just Mercedes stars.
Yeah.
So it's got to, we should do a video where we just count how many times they say Mercedes.
You know, the thing is, there's some things that are just, I don't know, Mercedes to me is pure class. And then when I look at this car, I see bling, right? I don't know why, but like, for example, when we were driving over here, that light bar that I said, it feels wrong to me, that like blue light, but you're like, oh, this thing looks great at night.
You're talking about the interior lighting.
Yeah.
But I also think it's important for our viewers to understand, you are the target audience for this car. You have owned many Mercedes over the years. Mom has driven S-Class for when I was growing up, at least. You always had S-Classes.
Yeah.
And so this is a car that you know, Mercedes engineered with Dave Connor in mind. It's for the aging individual.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
You know,
not aged, but aging.
Aging.
Okay, I'll go
right.
for
You're
that.
not aged yet, but you
No.
are getting there.
Yeah.
And so it's for the, you know, mature audience that needs something a little bit classy that's not, you know, going to rattle your teeth like a Porsche Taycan might. What's your impression initially? Because the starting price, this by the way, is a base car. It's just over $100,000. It's a rear-wheel drive model. It's not even all-wheel drive, and it's $107,000 roughly, is my guess.
Yeah,
I got to look at the window sticker.
I don't think that any S-Class buyer is going to shy away from this as far as price, right? They're going to cross-shop this. Once the Gravity comes out, that'll go against it. What do you have now? The R1S, that'll go against it. What other SUVs are on the market that are electric?
We're going to make a video with e-tron, but that's more of an EQE competitor.
I don't see the e-tron as like the big boy e-tron, like the
like
fat?
Alyssa's car.
Nah,
yeah.
that to me is not. I wouldn't cross shop those two.
Yeah, it's definitely a step below in terms of size, but it is at the same quality level. Like Audi treats the full size e-tron as they now call it their Q8 e-tron, signifying they get the extra glazing on the glass, everything from the A8. This is the EQS getting the extra glazing, all the extra treatment. Right. So, you know, when we talk top level electric luxury, it's iX, EQS, and e-tron.
Right, so where's BMW with like taking the X7 and making that EV? Do you know?
Yeah, no, not sure yet, but they do need something bigger than the iX for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. And so anyway, just a couple of initial thoughts about this. This car, to me, is very appealing. I think that it doesn't look like, hey, I'm an EV. This looks like a very classy, I mean, I would absolutely drive this. I know Mom would too, Kyle. Yeah, she loves this car.
I actually was talking to Mom before she got her Model Y, and I suggested she go look at the EQE SUV, which is a little bit smaller than this. This is a very long vehicle.
Yeah, but you know what, Kyle? Like for her, it's fine to. She's happy with the Tesla network right now. The thing is, this being a CCS car, you know, what would we need this for? Back in the day when we were, you know, going up from Connecticut to Vermont every weekend, this would have been. I would definitely have said, let's dump the Suburban or the Escalade and gone with this.
Right, assuming you could put a roof rack on it or something, it definitely would have all the range to do the Vermont trek, charge at the house up there. You know, that's what this thing is really built for.
Yeah, I mean, and I would have a level 2 at the house in Vermont, and I could make it up there on one charge, and I wouldn't necessarily need a third row because, you know, it's 2 kids and a dog and our luggage, and most of the stuff was up there. Like, there's no doubt this would have been I would have bought this over an Escalade or a Suburban. The problem with the Escalades and the Suburban, they're so big that when you go to Home Depot, you buy everything, or Costco, you come home. This isn't so big.
Well, let's open up the trunk.
Yeah,
let's show everyone.
like, did you notice I knew how to do that?
That's great.
That was a pure guess.
What do you think of the carpeting color?
Oh, way too light. I would be very concerned that this is going to get wasted.
Yeah, I agree, actually.
However, I mean, I love it. It's kind of like what's in my Lucid. It's like, why did they put white carpeting?
And we should be able to fold the seats like this. Oh,
that's cool.
Oh, and they even move the front seats forwards.
Oh, that's
pretty slick.
That's value added right there. Not quite flat.
Something just crunched.
Pretty,
I don't know
pretty
what
flat.
it was.
That might have been my GoPros. I think they're in the front seat, but that's okay.
And then you just pull up the switch.
Dave, why'd you stop making YouTube videos? Well, it happened in a parking lot.
Mercedes.
You know, but no, but this, Kyle, this really is an extremely appealing, from an appearance standpoint, vehicle to me.
Yeah, nice storage as well. Just trying to see how much underfloor. I haven't really explored this vehicle yet. My testing, I'm going to start tomorrow doing stuff with this.
Now, the one thing about this that's, you know, a lot of people talk about frunks, right? For some reason, frunks are such a hot topic. This car, you don't even get a frunk. You can't even open this unless you got a screwdriver and know how to do it, which I don't know how, but I hear there's a rumor that someone maybe around me might know how. But this thing right here, this is just wrong, right?
In a $100,000 car, this is wrong.
Like, this is for your windshield wiper fluid?
Yeah, open it up, show everyone.
I know, but like, that's ridiculous. Why is that ridiculous? Not from a serviceability standpoint, but that just ergonomically, not aesthetically. Are you kidding me that you put this here because you want to fill up with windshield washer fluid? I don't know. To me, that's just ridiculous. But that's not going to sway my decision.
So let's talk pricing and specs and everything. I don't believe this vehicle came with a window sticker, but my guess is if you spec it out, you're in that very low $100,000 range. I've driven now every version of EQS 450 or EQS SUV in general. I've driven the 450, the 450 4MATIC, and the 580 4MATIC. And I find them all to be great. I actually really like the rear driver here. I thought it was kind of silly that they were only going to come out with a rear-wheel drive full-size SUV until you go to LA and everyone just has EQS 450 pluses.
Well,
There's,
I mean,
and no
listen,
4MATICs.
if you're in Florida, you don't need all-wheel drive.
Right.
Although it helps in the torrential downpours and the rain. I have a question. What is this 450 plus? What does that plus mean?
Plus means big battery, 107.8 kilowatt hours.
Okay, versus what is the standard?
Or is it 108.7? I think it's 107.8. I forget exactly.
Sounds like a radio station.
Right, that's right. 107.8 kilowatt hours, not FM.
Right. Yeah. All right. So big battery, and what's the range on this thing?
Well,
EPA?
we're gonna do our test. I don't know the EPA offhand. We can certainly add it, but it's over 300.
Okay.
And my guess is a little bit like the iX, the Mercedes EQ stuff always just goes and goes and goes. And so I'm thinking 350 miles at 70 is reasonable.
Really?
Yeah, because the iX, is what their main competitor is here, maybe for EQE, but the Germans use these 6-phase motors in the back, and they're all focused on driveline efficiency and all this stuff. The iX did 340 miles in the worst possible configuration. And this is the best possible configuration, I know, from a different company, but similar ethos from a motor standpoint, and this is fairly slippery. I think, if you're driving around town, 400 miles is reasonable, and probably 300 miles on the highway. It's got more than enough range.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, listen, the honest truth is, I've been doing a lot of road tripping, and what I would say is that if you can go 250, 260 on a road trip, it's fine. You're gonna want to stop anyway for 15, 20 minutes. It's just, we won't get into the whole reliability thing.
Well, actually, Mercedes is one of the few companies who has signed with Tesla and will be switching to North American charging standard for 2025 US cars.
Okay.
And in early next year, this car will come with an adapter. They'll mail it to you. I don't know if you have to purchase it, but either way, a Mercedes owner can get an adapter and charge on the supercharger network.
So is this a high voltage, or is this like a normal voltage car?
It's a normal 400 volt vehicle.
So explain to me why that's important with respect to the NACS, like that whole conversion.
Well, it's not necessarily with NACS. NACS does support up to 1,000 volts and 1,000 amps, they claim. It's a 1 megawatt connection, which is pretty crazy. But this being a 400 volt system architecture, it's 450 full and maybe 370 dead, 350 dead, somewhere around there. It allows that the full current to be deployed out of the charging station and for it to match the voltage range of the car without using a booster. So for example, when you go to a Tesla supercharger in your Lucid of version 3 with Magic Dock, you have to use the onboard booster and you're limited to 40 kilowatts. In the GV60, you were limited to 100 kilowatts because that's what the rear booster could do in the rear motor inverter. This car does not require a booster, which means it can dump all the current in. And interestingly, Mercedes may actually choose to increase the charging speed, just a guess, because they hold 500 amps, 200 kilowatts on this car for a long time. But that's the maximum that most of our CCS chargers output. Tesla supercharger can do 670 amps. So Mercedes, along with that, at least would have the option, if they want to increase charging speed for North American spec EQ models versus Europe, which are limited to 500 amp request.
All right, so let me translate that for my audience, okay? I wouldn't even hesitate about buying this car because of charging network limitations. Even if it takes until April or May of next year for Mercedes to mail me that adapter that will allow me to go to a V3, I would just not even think about it. To me, the whole thing about CCS charging is gone now because of the strategic decision that Mercedes has made to support NECS. Listen, at the end of the day, when you charge this thing, you're going to open it up, you're going to have a CCS port, but they're going to mail you an adapter, you'll plug it in, and now you've got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, let's show everyone the adapter, the port. Here's the key, by the way, just in case you wanted to see it. It's a very nice key. Same they use on all of them.
Oh, yeah.
You have your charge port right here. You have your two little lines. It's a very odd looking charge port. You can see right here, it's funny, it shows 100 volt to 250 volt for level 2, and then around 400 volt battery pack for DC fast charging. I really think this is so funny that they put all this in here, all the labels. They even give you a little rescue card if you're in an emergency situation.
What's the rescue card going to do for you?
That's actually, I think if the car's in a major accident, it tells the fire department where to cut and where not to.
Oh, so in other words, the fire department can scan that QR code,
Yes.
and then it'll tell them where the high voltage.
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay. Yeah, but look,
So pretty soon that ugly port, it's really not the port that's the problem, but you will not have to deal with this port anymore. You will have the North American charging standard on there. The main benefit, giving you access to a more reliable charging network, making Mercedes EQ models able for us to recommend, unlike a BMW i7 or BMW iX, which we hardcore cannot recommend.
Right.
Until BMW signs on with Tesla.
No, I mean, look, that it's a non-issue anymore. Like, I would just say, if you're interested and you like this car, don't worry about the charge. You may have to worry about it between now and when the adapter comes out, and suffer a little bit if you're doing a road trip. But look, this has plenty of range, and now you're going to have the Tesla supercharger plus CCS all in one, which is basically what I have today with my, I know you hate when I call it the CCS Combo 1 adapter, right? Because I can go the other way.
It is the technical
I know,
name,
that's
so
what they call it on the website.
Let's take a look at the interior. Let's start with the back seat. Open up this huge door back here, Dad.
This one?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you see how I knew how to do that? Push, right?
Yeah, you can push or swipe.
Or swipe, okay.
Just in case you forgot what you were driving.
Yeah, you can get that light up too, probably.
It does light up.
Oh, it does light up. All right, so I had the seat where I wanted it to be. I'm 6'5".
Well, it was really far back.
I know, but that's where I wanted it.
My seat is in my driving position.
But
I'm 6'1".
you drive like with your arms like this. I drive more like that.
All right.
I'm just saying, this is where I put my seat.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
By the way, I open wide. I feel like this is a dentist chair. Look at that thing. I mean,
yeah, it is a little
right?
scary looking, isn't it? But you got a pillow, which is nice, and you get the pillows in the back.
That is choice. I like that. That's premium. Because we're buying these like aftermarket GG pads for the Tesla.
Oh, they're so bad.
And I can't tell you how many people ask us what the heck that thing is, but
in the Mercedes, you don't have to worry. It comes with your EQS.
Okay, all right. So here's the Dave test.
You're 6'5", sitting
6'5".
behind yourself.
You know what? This is perfect because I can put my legs. Let me see if I can shut the door.
Well, you also can adjust your seat here. I'm just trying to see. You can recline the backrest.
It's back as far as it'll go.
Back as far as it'll go. I also just want to make a comment.
Yeah.
In the EQS sedan, I cannot fit in the back seat. So to me, there's no reason to ever get the EQS sedan over the SUV. Just my impression.
You have B-pillar ventilation for your kids or your pets, plus also
and soft closed doors. Let's try it.
Soft closing doors?
No.
No?
Whoa, no soft closed doors.
So,
maybe an option.
So my knee is jammed here pretty well because of this. It's okay.
Look at how far back this front seat is.
All right. Well, you know what? Okay, that's fine. That's a non-issue. This is seriously really, really comfortable back here. Interesting that there's a crossbar up here, but one of the things that's unique about this car as opposed to, let's say, the Lucid or the Model X, or I don't know what they're doing with the Gravity, but you can open this moonroof as a sunroof and let the wind in.
Yeah, I can show everyone that right here.
And
you just
that's
swipe back.
I think that's unique for the class of vehicle, from my understanding.
And the shades, just so you know, do slide out of this center portion right here.
Are they rolled up in here?
Yeah, and they come out from the middle.
Okay, so that's a really nice plus that I like. And I would imagine you can put it into like the mode where you kick it up like you got a spoiler on the roof, you know.
Right, yeah, the little air vent.
The little air vent.
Just where it's popped.
But you know, Kyle, seriously, this is really comfortable back here. I'm feeling like, James, take me home. I mean, this is really nice. And
well, we're seeing a lot of LA sort of limo service companies start to adopt these, maybe replacing those old ugly Lincoln MKTs.
Yeah.
And going for something like this.
Yeah.
I think much, much better choice.
By the way, just after coming out of the Lucid, this is narrower.
Interesting.
It feels a lot narrower. Like if someone were to sit in the middle, they could, but not my size. You're going to fit 2 adults and a kid back here.
I agree. The Lucid's very particularly wide.
It is, and this everything is. I like this though. This is nice.
I do love the seat color, but I don't like that everything else is also white.
Yeah, I mean, you got.
It needs a dark headliner, dark floors, and then it'd be fine.
I don't know. I mean, like, it feels very classy. It feels very classy. I like this. I like this a lot.
This is also the base leather material. You'll notice it's not the finest grain Napa leather. It has a little bit of pebbling. To me, this bothers me. But to you, what's your impression?
I don't really care.
Okay.
I mean, like, I mean, you know, what I like is I like when you have the holes. What do you call them? Ventilations or the perforated seats. And usually
Heated,
you don't see
ventilated, and massage in this one.
Well, there you go.
And you can run heat and AC at the same time.
Which sounds like, why would you ever do that?
But it passes the Kyle Connor test.
I know. Like, why would you want to do that?
Right this way, sir.
All right. Now the get out test here. This thing, you know what this does? In sloppy weather, this thing,
running board, you mean?
That running board, I can tell you from years of whatever it is, Range Rovers or what have you. This, now I walk away, I shut the door, and I got this like line of mud on my pants back down here.
You actually do have a line of mud on your leg right here.
Do I?
From the running board.
From
yes.
the running, yeah, look at that. That might just be a permanent, running mud from previous cars.
Right,
but
sure.
Like, okay, is a kid gonna use this? Yeah. Does it look nice? Yeah, but guess what? You remember the old, was it the Expedition we had? And the thing like retracted down and went away?
Yeah. But I would say that was the Escalade that we had.
But
that did that.
Seriously, if you're going out to dinner and you're in your suit and you pick up another couple and they get out, they're definitely you're gonna have muck on your.
So you're saying skip that option?
Totally.
Okay. Well, that's optional. So great.
I wouldn't get that. I mean, you're gonna mess up your dress or your pants and all that.
Well, hop in the driver's seat, get comfortable, because there's one thing I want to talk about up here, which is this car does not have the Mercedes-Benz Hyperscreen. And the Hyperscreen is the widest display ever fitted in a vehicle. It has literal crash protection into the screen where it has breakaway areas, and it fills up the entire dashboard with 1, 2, and 3 screens. So you get a passenger display, a main driver display, and then a front user display right up here. And to me, I much prefer this, the standard interior. What's your impression of the UI size?
I'm going for that Mac Daddy. Give me all the screens you can get. I mean, listen, this looks like an iPad stuck on to the dash. The other thing, because I've seen, what do they call it again?
The Hyperscreen.
The Hyperscreen. That thing is sweet. I love that
I think
thing.
it looks great
if I'm
in
gonna
person.
spend over $100 grand for this truck and I don't have the Hyperscreen, no, I'm getting the Hyperscreen.
Okay.
Now, having said that, do you need it? No. This looks, to me, tack on. This looks tack on. The Lucid looks more integrated. I think the Hyperscreen looks way more integrated, and really, to me, that's what makes that vehicle. Whether it's an EQS, sedan or the SUV, that would be a mandatory option for me. I don't know how much that costs, but I would not get this car without that.
Sure, I totally agree. I think
you don't agree. You said you would get this. What the heck?
Me personally, I would go for this.
Okay, but you understand what I'm saying.
But I'm saying for my general recommendation to someone buying this car who wants to show it off to their friends, it is a talking point. So you have convinced me that there is some value in the Hyperscreen. I was a little bit bummed when the car showed up with the standard screen because I wanted to show Ryan and Max, who have yet to experience Mercedes EQ
I know,
as well.
I've seen that in pictures and I think in the car show. What about the EQE? Do they come out with the Hyperscreen as well in the EQE?
I
SUV?
don't know. I think so. It's optional, but I think in EQS SUV, if you get the 580, the spicy one, which is the same motor, just obviously dual motor and then with more power, it comes standard in that particular one. If you don't, it's like a very expensive option to get Hyperscreen.
Right. Now, can I just describe what I'm feeling here in the driver's seat?
Please, yes.
This feels like I'm right at home here. I mean, the seat is extremely comfortable. The headrest, I'd be afraid I'd fall asleep.
Well, it has amazing driver assistance with lane changes and no ping-ponging, no phantom braking.
Really?
I've done so much distance and time with this driver assistance system. You know, it scored one of the highest scores ever in the Hogback test, the Mercedes EQS sedan.
Wow. Well, have you run this, the SUV? And
I have not, but I just remembered we ran the sedan. I'm not sure it makes sense to run the same system again on the SUV because we've already done it.
You'd expect the same outcome?
Yeah, probably so. But I said that at the same time where we ran a Mercedes GLS, their combustion 7-seater.
Right.
And that did poorly.
Right.
And then we ran the EQS and it rocked it.
You know, this is really comfortable. Really, this is a lot of space here.
Yeah,
when you get that Hyperscreen, does it go over there?
Yeah, it fills up from this edge all the way to that edge.
Yeah, you got to get that.
Okay.
You're going.
I'm gonna hop in here.
You're like, okay, you swim halfway across the country and then you say, okay, it's too far. I'm going to turn around and go back. No, you got to get that hypersteering.
Nice.
Okay. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
can I drive this thing?
First off, turn it on.
How do you do that?
Big start button.
What the heck? Why do cars need a start button?
It's a very German mentality.
That's stupid. Okay.
Okay.
I don't. Maybe I'm too.
Dave Connor.
I'm too Tesla'd out.
Look, I agree.
That's just dumb. Why do I need a start button?
Okay, it says it's detecting I'm sending gestures over to it. We're getting set up here. Seatbelt gives you a nice hug when you get it on. Let's go full low temperature, but then let me just take it off of auto really quick, just so we can control the fan speed.
Right.
There we go. Audio should be good.
Does
Dad.
it come with the pink drink?
That is included only in the out-of-spec
Maybe I should
versions.
drive this home tomorrow instead of the Lucid.
You would have, actually both cars are very comfortable.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I kind of prefer this one personally. So here we go, just closing up that shade right there.
Oh, look at that. We got the sort of that's nice.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah, for the heat.
Wow, night and day.
Yeah. Okay, all right. The mirrors on the sides are very large and very good visibility out the back, even with the headrests up.
Feel that rear steer?
Well, not yet.
Okay.
I know the car has rear steer, and
yeah, actually, should we show everyone rear steer really quick? Just because it's the coolest and weirdest thing to look. It almost looks like the car is broken.
What degree of angle is this?
10 degrees of rear steer.
How does that compare to like what's in the Taycan?
Taycan's like almost 2.
2 degrees.
Yeah,
so
roughly.
This is 10?
10.
Wow.
Yeah, so turn
all right,
all the way.
I'll go up over there.
Yeah, go up over there and do a full U-turn.
All right. All right, so here I go.
And you can keep talking. Everyone should be able to hear you.
I've driven this car now a total of 47 feet, which is good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin it around here, and the turning circle
just looks broken
on this car. I don't know what it is statistically, but I mean this is a big truck, and I'm spinning it around here with, yeah, that's a tight turning radius. Yeah, I mean, that's just insane.
It is so funny looking from the outside.
You know what that does? That makes this work for, like, I want to go over there and let's say I'm going to Stop and Shop, right? Norwalk.
Okay.
Or ShopRite. I like ShopRite better.
He's in ShopRite.
All right, I'm going to ShopRite and I'm going to pull in.
No Whole Foods for Dave Connor. He's a down-to-earth kind of guy.
And all of a sudden, I just want to park it. All right, so it becomes super, it's a great grocery hauler as a result of the tight turning radius. And again, I don't think it's all that wide. It just doesn't feel super wide to me. So
I can hear the rear steer. Makes a tiny little
let me spin it around
squeak.
here again. Camera views. Yeah. Well, listen, you know, I'm going in the shade here.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. White steering wheel, which goes with this car, the character of this car.
I've seen Mom's white steering wheel before you traded in the GV60. You would have to upkeep the cleaning of this a little bit more than you did on that car.
You mean like once, clean it once?
Yeah, maybe once
maybe
every
like
500 miles.
If Mom saw this car, she'd want it.
I think so too. That's why I honestly really wanted her to look at the EQE, because she doesn't need such the length. The EQE to me is almost as premium as the EQS SUV.
We can consider that in 2 years, 11 months.
That's right, you signed a contract.
I signed a contract.
But
like,
if she's convinced, she'll let you upgrade her.
No, she'd have to keep the Y.
No, she said if she wants a car.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I did have that.
So you should show this to Mom.
Plus, I have a couple of caveats in that. Did you notice the car was actually not in her name when we went to pick it up? It was in my name.
Oh, that's right. So it's your car.
I think she's just like, there's a false sense of security that she doesn't think I can trade out of it.
That's
like, when have I ever held a car for 3 years?
I've never known you to hold a car for a year.
3 years.
3 years is crazy.
That's an eternity.
Yeah, I don't know. This guy's insane.
But, you know, it's got a Burmester. Is that a Burmester sound system?
Could you put it in park for me?
I will try.
Thank you.
There we go. I did.
Okay, could you click unlock? Oh yeah, the doors are locked. It's typical Mercedes by the door handle. Yep, right by the door handle, up. Yeah, you just push the button with your thumb.
This one? Oh, right here. Sorry about that.
Gosh, this guy in technology.
What, Kyle, there's a lot of buttons. Now let me comment about that. There are buttons.
Is there a window sticker? I want to know the full spec and options and everything on this car. It does not appear to have one.
No? Okay.
No, sadly. A lot of Mercedes, they've been doing this with their press cars recently where they won't tell us how much they cost, so we got to go and
Kyle,
spec them,
when you were filming, doing the spin, could you actually see the rear wheels? Is it noticeable at 10 degrees? Like you could see the angle?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Looks like the car's braking.
All right. You know what I like? I like these turbine vents. I think that's like a Rolls-Royce, on a 777. It just looks like a jet engine. And
Did you just use every airplane terminology word you knew?
Not everyone.
It just was like he just went. Sometimes you do this where you just go like airplane vocabulary in your brain, just list every word you know.
Me?
Yes.
What about you?
Yeah, I do the same thing.
So,
I get it from you, sadly.
If you give me crap, I'm going to give you crap,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean?
Of
So,
course.
all right. So, which way should I go?
I would go to the right. Enjoy
All right,
this
I'm gonna
thing.
go off to the
Let's
right.
get it up to some
All right,
speed.
can I please have a little silence here? Because I just want to.
Do you want me to explain the drive modes to you? Oh, we got that rear window.
Rear
down.
window. I was going to say it doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, we get some buffeting.
Do we have shades like in the Lucid?
No shades in this one, actually.
What the
Hold
heck?
up on the switch. I don't think they are.
No shades on this one. Maybe the 580 that we're going to get.
Right, you can option a luxury rear seat.
This is soft. I can already feel it. It's floaty.
And just so you know, there's also a new Maybach version of this that is full Luxo.
You know what you got to do? You got to pick one of those up in 5 years when they're worthless.
Absolutely. They removed the third row of seats and put the second row where the third row goes. And it's so cool.
We got to get one of those when they tank.
Yes.
Right.
That's
How many are they going to sell? 7?
I don't know, but that's going to be like a great third owner for 45 grand.
Absolutely. I remember I bought Mom an S-Class years ago, Designo edition. Ridiculously expensive car with stupid options. And we bought it, I don't know, 5 years old or something like that.
Yeah, I think you bought it 2 years old.
Whatever
yes,
it was.
Yeah.
And there's a Vespa for sale.
Okay, nice.
We can put that in the back.
Yeah, there's a lot of room in this.
You know what? It's floaty.
Yeah, this is how a Mercedes should be. But let me explain the braking strategy to you in this car.
Yeah.
Because it is interesting.
What you do is you push the pedal on the left. That's the braking strategy.
That will always work. However, this car uses something called an eye booster. And so I think actually through software, I'm going to put it in my main video, they really have almost fixed the brake pedal with the Mercedes EQ models.
What do you mean fixed?
Well, so if you pull the left paddle and it pulls it into strong regen, so then let go. No, now you're in intelligent, you held it down. So just click the left paddle once. There you go, strong regen.
Oh, I see.
And I do have creep mode on right now, so you will have to use the brakes, but one pedal driving is available.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yep, and it is really good one pedal driving actually.
All right.
But you'll notice when you hit strong regen, just cover the brake pedal with your left foot, just so you can feel the pickup point, and lift off, and you'll feel it pull away from you.
You'll feel what pull away from
So
you?
accelerate, just touch the top of the brake pedal so you know where it is, and then lift off completely. And the brake pedal...
I felt it go in.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Isn't that the weirdest thing?
That's wrong.
It is very weird.
What? I don't understand.
So it's doing brake blending, but it has to use the physical brake pedal rather than electronically.
So the brake pedal, where your brain tells you your foot should go, is not where it is when your foot gets to it.
Right, so the natural resting position of the brake pedal changes. Now, Tesla also does this. When you fully charge your Model 3 LFP and you put on brake blending,
I like that feature, by the way.
It pulls the brake pedal away as well. I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
I have not.
Because the brake pedal in the Tesla requires a lot less travel for it to function.
That only happens at super high states of charge. Though.
Only at 98% and higher.
Right.
And so in this car, it has quite a long brake pedal, and that's why it's more noticeable. But I found that they actually fixed it. It's less noticeable in the EQS SUV than it was when I initially tested.
It wasn't a lot, but I definitely felt it move away from me.
Yeah, it used to move away a lot more than it does.
Which is disconcerting a little bit.
Certainly.
Okay, now how come it's not stopping?
Because we do not have one pedal drive on.
Is there hold?
Yeah, so just pushing the brake really hard. There you go,
Okay,
hold is on.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm just going to go here into the settings menu. I can go to settings.
Maybe we should turn the fan down a little bit.
Yeah?
Well, only because of the sound.
And creep function. Next time we get to a stoplight, if you can turn right after this Audi, I'd go, let's go down the highway one exit, because I want you to see the driver assistance.
Sure.
Yeah, so go full right.
Okay.
And then when we can put it in park, I can put you in one pedal driving.
You know what? This makes me feel like I'm driving a Mercedes.
You seem like an EQS
like this.
SUV kind of guy. I like it too.
I like this.
Alyssa and I reviewed this car.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again, please?
I said I like this. What the heck?
She's just excited.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
sorry, but I can't help you with that right now.
Oh no, you've helped me enough already. Listen, you just go away, Sally, or whatever your name is, you know? So, yeah, very smooth, very comfortable.
You know, this car is one of the largest head-up displays in the industry.
Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice the heads-up display. Yeah, I see it.
Yep, and there's a lot of options. And when we find a parking lot, I can walk you through some of the highlight features that I think. The crazy thing with these German electric cars is they require 2 hours of introduction to get through all the functions and features. And there's sound modes in this car. For example, we can go over here to system and audio. Maybe that's not the correct one. Maybe it's vehicle.
Parktronic. I've seen that
Parktronic,
term.
yeah,
That's been around for years, that name.
Mercedes used you coined the term magic vision control for windshield wipers. So
What does that mean?
that's just like Germans have to come up with like the craziest names for the simplest things.
Or wild acronyms in the case of Porsche.
Right, that's right. So magic vision control just means that the windshield washer fluid comes out from the wiper instead of from the car onto the windshield.
James, would you please turn on my air-conditioned seat?
It's actually on.
It's on?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
Yeah, they're not great.
I'm not feeling... Does it push or pull air?
I think it pushes, but it doesn't have a pickup near a, sort of a cold vent.
Okay.
Let's see what we're trying to do here.
You know, honestly, I've always liked on the S-Classes, and maybe even Mom's E, how the seat controls are on the door panel, because you can see, as opposed to always going down and feeling it, you know, it's very helpful to have it right here.
Here we go, sound experience.
Oh yeah, I need that.
Would you like to try some roaring pulse?
I think I'm a vivid flux kind of guy, Kyle. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it definitely is like in the background. I kind of hate all this stuff. And Mercedes made a big deal because now they support in-car downloads, and you'll be able to, over time, download new soundscapes to play in your Mercedes EQS SUV.
Yeah. Does it have any kind of like smell around so that I can get senses in the car as well?
Actually, I think it is an option. At least the Audi Q8 e-tron has smell-o-vision.
I need that.
Yeah, Alyssa's car has it.
I mean, you know how Bose has that sort of anti-sound deadening? Sometimes in cars you need that anti-smell, kind of like...
That's right.
Yeah,
Well, actually, what's funny, speaking of this, the smart #1, the new smart car. Have you heard of this?
No.
Yeah, Smart relaunched a new product, and they literally have a fart cleansing mode. And it shows a graphic of like a little cat farting on the screen and then whisking away the air.
And Tesla didn't come out with that?
Well, they have bioweapon defense
No,
mode.
I know, but okay, bioweapon defense mode.
Yeah.
But that's to keep the air from the outside in. But if the generator of the air is inside the cabin, you need something other than bioweapon defense.
Totally agree.
The enemy is within the cabin in that case. Anyway, enough on that.
So you're in strong recuperation, German speak here.
Recuperation is another word for regen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they just didn't translate it. I mean, I guess it still works in our language.
I think recuperation makes sense.
But if you pull the right pedal once, that's how I drive the car, which is standard recuperation. That's the left pedal.
The only
Pull the
problem...
right pedal once.
Okay.
And now the brake
Normal
pedal,
recuperation.
it'll give you regen, but it will not pull the brake pedal away from you.
You know what's weird with the word recuperation? When I think of the word recuperation, I think of healing. I think of getting better.
Well, you aren't. Every time you regen, you're saving the planet.
Oh, okay. If I recoup my losses.
Yes.
Yeah. So okay. So it's got to.
But in essence, you're creating more losses. But
yeah.
The nerds will not like your explanation.
Thank you. All right. That's fine. That's fine. So, all right. I'm right at home with this already. I am feeling the AC in the seat now, especially in my back.
Good.
A little bit.
Well, let's go down the highway a couple exits. Want you to experience the driver assistance system.
Okay.
We'll get over there and we'll pick up once we merge onto the highway.
I want to ask you a couple questions about on
Go
route.
this way.
Oh,
Sorry.
straight?
Yeah.
All right. The navigation system in the route planning on this car.
Yeah.
How is that?
Truly fantastic. Right up there with some of the best. Let's just put in Las Vegas really quick.
Is it proprietary or Google?
No, this is all internal, and they get it. It does en-route battery preconditioning, route planning, and what's a cool feature of this car, I know you'll like this, you know how sometimes you plug into a charger and you're like, what's the maximum, in theory, my car could charge right now?
Yeah.
Based off of battery state of charge and temperature?
Yeah.
Well, I can just go here and click the EQ button, and it will tell me if I plug into a DC charger at 79%, I can expect 70 kilowatts maximum.
I've never seen that.
Isn't that a nice feature?
What about plug and charge?
It does have plug and charge.
Okay.
You got to get in the left lane here.
And what about battery preconditioning?
It does have battery preconditioning.
Does it have manual mode for preconditioning the battery?
Yes, it does. I can go right here and I can say, no, actually, it's only when you select a DC fast charger. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, but
then you can turn it off if you're trying to stretch your range.
Can I see the temperature of the battery pack in this car?
So Mercedes does allow battery and motor temperature only in their AMG versions.
Oh, so you got to spend more money to be able to see the temperature of your battery pack?
That's correct.
Spending $107,000 is not enough.
That's right.
Come on.
Yep. If you get an AMG version of the Mercedes EQ, you would go here, you would go to info, and then you would get in this vehicle screen, it would tell you, there's room for it here. They just think if you want it, that you don't care.
Could I use like one of those OBD2 port things and suck the data out of the car?
No, not with Mercedes. They have their system locked.
Oh, man. All right. Well, the only reason I say that is because I think that I guess I'd want to understand what my temperature is when I'm pulling in. Like, how does it tell you when it's preconditioning?
I don't know offhand, but you can see here it's loaded in your stops to get to Vegas, 3 charging stops, 46 minutes, 32 minutes, and 16 minutes. So it wants to do a really deep charge at Charge Point and Rifle. I would have come in a little bit earlier and it wants to get you up to 92%.
Oh, yeah.
But it's having you skip Green River.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yes, so that's pretty smart. So it's doing Rifle to Salina to Mesquite. That's a great route plan, actually, for this car, because it does have a pretty good charging curve.
Right.
The only thing I would change about this is do Glenwood Springs, but then you might not be able to make it to Salina. So this might actually be the fastest option.
Right. But look, as you override stations perhaps, or go sooner, then it's going to update and it's going to give you the next route planning. So that's good that it's in there, because I'm glad to see some of the other manufacturers catching up to what Tesla has had for many years.
Yeah, they really give you all the data, sort of your consumption history over time, just like Tesla gives you. It gives you, setting your charging. You can even derate your DC fast charging.
Right.
Look at this old Toyota Land Cruiser over here. So cool, pulling a trailer.
He's got some hay in there.
That's awesome.
With a rake.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that is beautiful. So now, everything that you've shown me so far on this car, from a software standpoint, would that be the same in an EQE as well?
Yes.
Should I go north?
Yep, go north.
Okay. So it'd pretty much be the same as.
Yep, it's the same in EQE or EQS, and I think the EQS is a little bit big for most people, so I recommend going EQE. Let's see, we can have it route-based speed adaptation. We can have it adopt the speed limit. Probably won't do that right now. You can change the dynamics of your adaptive cruise control system based off of your drive mode, or you can just always have it be in full New York dynamic mode, so it gets right up on the car.
All right, before we get into ADAS, while we're doing the on-ramp, can I ask you a question? Is this car made in the United States?
This car is made in Alabama.
Okay, so if it's under 80 grand as the SUV, which an EQE might be.
An EQE, both the low
SUV.
and middle versions are under 80,000.
So they would qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit.
They specifically priced the EQE SUV to qualify for the tax credits, unless you go for the very high-end trim. But you can get a really nice EQE and qualify.
Okay, is this guy going here? No, he's not.
Yep, we should be good.
That's a big deal. That's a real big deal.
Absolutely.
All right, that's full throttle.
Yeah, but just brake here because we have a bit of a slalom.
Okay. Are you concerned about my driving skills?
Well, this is a brand new area, so I just don't know it yet.
I understand.
But yes, I am concerned about your driving skills.
I am too, quite honestly. So, all right. Well, did you see how I negotiated that? Kenworth hauling logs.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
we got a short on ramp here.
Yeah, that's all right. It's a Mitsubishi whatever the heck that is behind me.
Yeah, you can push him out of the way.
He's sad. He bought that thing. Sorry. No, he's happy. It's all right.
Let's just make sure we're all set. We are good.
By the way, not impressive acceleration.
So this is
not at all. Like that. It's okay. You got to turn off that.
I know. I just turned her off. You can see you have augmented reality.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So when we get up to the exit, the arrow will come up. And
whoa, baby! Hold on. That heads-up display is amazing.
Yeah. No one in the video will be able to see it.
No, but I'm talking about. I feel like I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
Like it's all color. The on-ramp, the off-ramp.
You'll see the arrows there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge.
He's basically looking at this through there.
That's sweet. I like that.
I know, it is very
and it's
cool.
Really properly placed. I may want to lower it a little bit because my head's so high.
Well,
but
actually,
you don't need to worry about that. That's just minor stuff.
Just want to walk you through something really quick.
Yeah.
The left side of the steering wheel controls, like this home button and those arrows, controls this screen. The right side controls this screen.
Okay.
So very rarely do you ever even have to reach and touch this. You can just control this screen from over here.
I see.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's smart. That's logical. So this is here, this is here.
Same as my Sprinter, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, really, I love Mercedes MBUX. Everyone thinks the graphics looks like old Windows. I don't really get the vibe. I love this system. I think this is one of the reasons to buy a Mercedes. It does everything, has great route planning, does the thing, and it's just fantastic in my opinion.
I have a question. You know that the other screen, Hyperscreen. This is nice and large, which I like from from just a real estate standpoint to be able to see the maps. Can you tell me on the Hyperscreen, are the maps still very much usable from a visual standpoint, or do you really prefer this because you've got more real estate?
No, you get much more real estate with the Hyperscreen.
No, but isn't it like narrower and thinner?
Nope, it's in every dimension it's bigger.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, back to what I said before. That's something you got to get that.
Yeah, so why don't you try out some of the driver assistance?
Okay. So
what you're going to do is in the bottom right hand button, you'll hit the on.
On.
Okay, so I keep sending out, that's me, ignore that. And then you're going to hit the set plus button. There you go, now you're set.
Okay.
And what you'll see on the screen here are a few things. You'll look to your left, of course you can set your speed to 75, which is the speed limit.
Yeah.
We set the system to dynamic, that's why it really ramped on the throttle there, because I have it set in aggressive acceleration.
Okay.
You also have a steering wheel with two arrows next to you. And there is someone coming on here.
I know, I took it off.
Okay.
Just because.
But you have a steering wheel with two arrows when you're on the system. That indicates you can do lane changes. And all you do is you just click the turn signal to the detent. Nope.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, you can do that, but if you just touch it, once you're locked in, there you go. Lane change to the left, the car comes up, lets you know what you're doing.
You want that in Tesla at $6,000. Right?
That's correct.
Because you got to buy enhanced.
Right.
That was smooth. Hold on, let me do it again. Very smooth, not jerky at all. I can tell you with enhanced in the Tesla, it's like it's more deliberate. This is more.
I'm just going to take over for 1 second. You keep driving, but I just want to pull up the driver assistance display so you can see this. And now you get the view that's very much like autopilot. Here on the display. It'll show you other cars around you.
Boy, I'll tell you what, competition is caught up, not catching up.
Yeah, so I actually thought you were going to hate this car.
No, I don't hate this car.
Because I really like it, but it's hard for me to explain to everyone in less than an hour, and we've done it in 47 minutes. We've shown most of the good stuff. It is slow, that's the big downside, but like, where are you trying to go fast in your big EQS? I love to get in this thing and just cruise along.
No, you know what it is, kind of like, the styling of the EQS, it was just so unattractive to me. I was never even curious to go look at it. This car is a nice looking vehicle, and I'm very pleasantly surprised about it. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Well, I totally agree. And now you're just kind of sitting here on Mercedes Distronic Plus, or whatever they call it these days.
Yeah.
And, we got almost no noise in the cabin on one of the loudest concrete surfaces you could imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. And these are 21-inch wheels.
Are they?
Yeah, they are. I checked them out before. I'm not sure what.
Look at you researching before I film. I didn't.
But no, while you were filming me, I looked at the wheels and tires, and it said 21. There goes a Model Y.
Yeah.
You know what? Wow.
It's the next level. And for only, let's just say this car spec, let's just assume, 115, because it does have some things on it. That's like pretty reasonable for the amount of quality that you're getting here.
You know what I need to do, Kyle? I need to go drive the EQE SUV.
That's right. You need mom to drive that.
Well,
this is a very mom car.
Maybe, yeah, you're right. We should just go look.
Yeah, just do a little window shop.
All right, so Kathy, if you're watching this, when I come down to Florida next weekend, guess what we're doing?
Well, she's going to want to go to the Mercedes dealer because you're not allowed to bring her there.
No, I think that I would love her opinion.
That's right.
Let's just go look at puppies. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, well, listen, everybody. Kyle, first of all, thank you so much for taking me on this tour.
Yeah, you just realized you hadn't been touching the wheel.
No, well, you know what happens is the little hands turn red.
Right.
And I was just seeing how long, and it's pretty decent. It's probably an algorithm to figure it out.
Yeah.
Have you gotten much phantom braking with this system?
Nope.
You know, with both my Model Y and my Model 3, I know it's totally different. I haven't had one phantom braking.
So I figured it out.
What?
It is all dependent on the type of driving that you're doing. You drive a lot on highways with other cars around.
Yeah.
Other cars give Tesla Autopilot the confidence to keep going. As soon as there's nothing on the road, or you have cars coming towards you, or you have some sort of stopped object where you're not necessarily following someone, like through the desert on I-70, going through Moab or through Green River, the Model S Colton was just slamming on the brakes one after another.
Oh, really?
And so that's where the issues really happen.
Really? All right. Well, listen, Kyle. Again, thank you for taking me through this car. I am a buyer of this vehicle. Me personally, no, I'm not buying an EQS SUV. But
you understand the Mercedes EQ
No, I
thing.
get this car, and this makes sense. How are they? Tell me about the leases. I've heard some crazy stuff with leases on these cars.
Yes, well, they can't sell them. That's the problem.
Why?
Because I think they're ugly. I think they're ugly.
EQS SUV's ugly?
I think it's still ugly.
I
mean, it's better looking, but it's still pretty ugly. It's the EQE SUV, to me, that's where it all comes together, and it looks all right.
Because then they can actually apply the $7,500 federal tax credit.
Right, and then they'll have Tesla charging.
Wow, this is a contender, folks. So I'll leave it at this. If you're in the market for a full-size SUV, and when I say full-size, I got to look at the EQE, but I mean, that's a decent-sized vehicle.
Still, I think plenty big.
Right, plenty big. You've got to look.
This thing just goes on and on back there.
You've got to look at this vehicle. If you're thinking about an X, before you go out and spend $103 grand for a Model X, you got to check out this vehicle.
Right, it might cost a little bit more up front. We'll exit here and I'll show you have you ever been to our Wellington testing?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
It's where we do all the range and charging tests. I'll have this car here actually probably tomorrow or the next day to do a range test.
Yeah, but look, I would tell you genuinely from the bottom of my brain and my heart, you've got to drive this car. And I would not have said that before I've driven this car. I'm a fan of this.
I'm shocked. I thought I was going to play here's why I like the Mercedes EQ, and you were just going to trash on this thing throughout the whole video. But you
like
it
way more than the iX.
Yeah, I get it. I could see I could totally see someone going for this over iX. Infotainment alone, driver assistance on both are great, but the infotainment on this, the rear steer.
I don't know what it is, Kyle, but when I saw that crystal thingy, whatever Majah, I just in a BMW.
Yeah, we were getting blinded in that thing.
I just I just didn't get that. But anyway, listen, everyone, thanks again for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave. Kyle, I love you, man. Thank you so much. I've learned so much. And one thing I've learned is we got to go drive the EQE.
Yeah, you got to get mom and
get ready, Kathy. We're going.
Yeah, well,
2 years, 11 months.
Appreciate your comments and your thoughts.
And this is the real deal, folks. Anyway, take care. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.